Hello citizens, Recoil here. How y'all doing? Y'all having a good Saturday? Huh? Hope you are. I mean, I get it's a good day for chores and cleaning and all that jazz. Other than that, you know, just relaxing. I'm gonna be spending my Saturday, well, at least my stream time on this Saturday, working on a 3D model that I should have worked on, sooner. It's fine. It's fine. I got distracted with another model. Which actually taught me something that I'm going to be using on this model today. So that's what we're going to go look at. So, without further ado, haha, it's Recoil in stereo sound. Where's the stereo vision? But that's not what we're actually looking at right now. We are looking at Ganbun. I asked if I was allowed to show his model while I was working on it on stream. And frankly, I then realized it's not the first time. So, it's fine. It's fine. Let's get some good old Pandora going. And hell yeah. Okay. So before I 100% dive into Ganbun model, let's talk about the thing that I did with the other model that I'm going to be doing on this one. So if we look at Juice Noose, who is the model I was working on last, and we hide the expression helpers and his glasses, and we're looking just at his face, right? So, let's at least use a decent looking view as opposed to the basic rendering settings. Rad. Okay, so the thing that we learned last time, or on this model, is how Guilty Gear does the topology around the mouth. And so, Guilty Gear, in case you don't know, this is an incredibly expressive game. There we go. With a very unique face topology. So, and a couple of people have actually taken the time to like study it and look at it and be like, how does this anime game make their models' mouths move so well? And so Ruki, who's a very popular artist or 3D modeler, they figured out that they basically put triangles all around the mouth to, one, increase the amount of polygons the mouth has, and two, decrease the amount of polygons that are around the mouth, allowing the mouth to move more freely. To prevent clipping and all that jazz whenever you get weird shapes like somebody moving their mouth all the way off to the side, like, that. Point is, you can see that here from like an actual, like this is Ruki's model that they use to actually study. This is an actual model from, I think, Kai from Guilty Gear Xrd. And you can see it's exactly that same triangular topology around the mouth. Now, you're also going to see a lot of triangles because this is just ripped straight from the game, so you're kind of gonna have to use your brain to be like, oh, that's supposed to be a square, oh, that's supposed to be a triangle. But they definitely did clean up the topology around the mouth, and that's the part we're looking at today. Especially because if we look at Guilty Gear faces, just in general, they can get pretty varied as far as like their expressions and how they just look overall. And they just move so well. They look so well animated and it's great. Low-key, one of my big goals was to try and kind of copy ArcSys for how they did Dragon Ball FighterZ in particular, but Guilty Gear works too. So, I can show you that I did it on Juice right here, and it looks pretty solid. And whenever I was playing around with it, it will deform pretty well. Now, though, we got to do it again on Ganbang, because he is a very big Guilty Gear fan, and, you know, I think it's going to fit this style of model really well, is the big thing. So, let's see here. First things first, this model has this model's head has various it's got various topologies modified due to the fact that it has a solidify or a subdivision modifier on it, making it look a lot smoother. So if I turn it off, it gets a lot chunkier and it just doesn't look nearly as good. And so we're gonna make sure to apply the subdivision modifier because I don't want to have to add those subdivisions manually, and I like the way this actually looks. And so now if we apply that, it's a lot more complex. Not a great thing, but not a terrible thing either. Yeah, he's bald. I mean, come on, he's not gonna stay bald forever. We're just, and he's got the hair exists, right? Nah, man, he's got plenty of hair. I just hide it for now. We don't need it. That being said, he does have a pretty solid forehead. Yeah, no, he's like a Lego guy. It's fine. Anywho. So, this is honestly probably a bit too much topology for what this model actually needs to be. So what we're going to do is we're going to actually start reducing, or we're going to do a fair bit of reduction around here to make it a lot more efficient, because that's one of the things that I like doing. Thank you for the cookie. Why do I like making things efficient? Because I'm weird. Dude, I know that feeling. I already ordered my dinner for tonight, so I don't have to worry about it later. Yeah, so like we can get rid of these topology, or some of the topology around the, we can get rid of some of the topology around the eyes, we can get rid of some of these loops around the back of the ears, because, you know, those aren't necessary. And basically, we're just gonna kind of, well, that one's actually kind of necessary. I might end up actually remodeling these ears, is another thing. Because I'm not a huge fan of them. So then, I would say, do I need to take away the throwables? But nah, man, that's the entire point of them. They're here to be thrown. So what I'm gonna do first. The one that's more of an, the one that is more of an, of course I listen to this song is, it's Kryptonite. Let's see here. We're gonna mark this part of the mouth as sharp real quick, so that way I just kind of know where it is. I want this, or we'll take our knife tool and we'll start carving out where we want the chin to actually. Actually kind of like this line right here, because that helps give us a nice solid chin strap. You act like I've never been, or you act like I'm immune to stereotyping, come on. Okay, so now we actually have to do our reductions to make this efficient. And so the way we're going to do that is by using triangles. Doot. Doot. We're going to just kind of make triangles all along the mouth until... Why are you snapping there? Why are you snapping to the middles of face or edges now? You usually... What the hell? So then with this, we can actually get rid of all that, which helps make it so that way that part of the mouth is a bit more reduced, so that way there isn't that many more polygons. Let's see here. And this is what the biggest part of 3D modeling is to me, is doing puzzle solving, essentially. Because now I got to figure out where to properly cut these models in order to make it make sense. If that makes sense at all. Because what I now can actually pretty much do all this. That doesn't look terrible. But then I don't like the way... So let's do this over here then? Yeah. Which actually should then eventually lead to... Dude, I gotta be a little bit more responsible with my cookie intake. If I'm being like 100% mentally conscious of what I'm doing. I know. It is a shame. So then we can get rid of this and this. I don't think eating cookies for 3 days straight would make it so I'd meet God. I'm gonna be real with you, Chief. I think if I want to meet God, that is me drinking nothing but like C4 for the next couple days. Hold on. I'm stupid. Oh, you think I mean C4 the, like, explosive, don't you? Nah, man, we're talking C4 the energy drink. Yeah, that's gonna end up with me just not being happy with my stomach. What up, Knack? What, you don't want me to just be caffeinated off my gourd for 3 days? I don't think I actually... You know what I'm beginning to think? I'm beginning to think I didn't put enough polygons in the mouth. Because this does not feel like it's going to... This doesn't feel like it's properly reducing. Because part of this reduction process should end up with the face... Oh god, no. So, it's actually a full head, body, and a set of accessories. Problem is, I learned a new technique for doing mouth stuff to make mouths more expressive. And so, because I had to work on another model in like the past week, I'm trying to fix this face up so that way it works more like the Guilty Gear style of mouth, so that way they can get super expressive. And also because the guy who this is a model for is a super fan of Guilty Gear. Maybe a little. Well, let's be real, that's not how VTubing works. You gotta say the stuff. How else are you supposed to have an audience? Yeah, I think I screwed up. Best part about this, though, is that it's the 3D model, so we can actually just hit revert and it'll be fine. Yeah, I think I started with too low of a poly count around the... So let's go ahead and do this. Oh, we don't need to double mirror it. Mirror, subdivide. Then cut the face up again. Then mirror again. Yeah, because like, I actually really like this head shape. So I don't want to reduce the head shape is the problem. What I want to reduce is... Like, I don't want to reduce this off. How do I explain it? There is enough detail in the head right now. What I now want to do is get rid of some of the detail or add even more detail to the mouth and then reduce it. That's what we're doing. So we're just going to actually basically cut this up so that way these sets of cuts right here are just to make it so that way I can add lines and it won't like go all over the face. So for example, now I can do an edge slice and it'll do that. And it'll add more definition to it'll let me add more definition to the lips. And then like that, like that, like that, like that. You can see how much more polygon dense the mouth is getting right now. And we'll fix that up in the mouth bag area later as well, because that's what ended up happening back there, where you can see the spaghetti go all the way through it. So that's one bit. Okay, so now the mouth should be about twice as dense as it used to be. I also kind of want to do something else. I did something on the other mouth that I was working on that made it look very much more like a particular artist. Hold on. The artist name being Bernie Hogarth. But that's not what I'm shooting for right now. What I want to look at is how many rings around the mouth it gets. So like 1, 2, 3. Without actually having access to these models, it's kind of hard to figure out how much detail you need, right? But it seems that they'd go with about 3 loops. So 1 to fill out the lips, or like the edge of the lips. 1 to fill out where like where the lip starts to turn. And then 1 to go at the so like we got the edge, we got the mouth edge, we got the lip turn, and then we got something that adds volume. So that should make that a little bit more... That should make that a little bit more defined without being super polygon inefficient. So then let's take this, mark that as sharp. Mouse, I think you'll appreciate something. I finally got to Shadowbringers yesterday. If anybody else cares about Final Fantasy XIV, they might care about that too. I don't mind getting rid of that one line, because that should be how the chin shapes itself right there. And then I don't mind getting rid of this mouth, or this line right here, because I'm finally in Shadowbringer. Hold on. What am I feel like I'm messing something up here. I think I am. I think what we're going to do is just get rid of everything inside this section that I don't need. That way, I have plenty of endpoints to make this look the way I want it to. Why would you need to... Here's something. Why would you make an alternate account for Final Fantasy XIV? You know, you feel me? Like, straight up. I can understand why in, like, World of Warcraft you need to make an alt. But, like... That one... Oh shit, I have extra faces right here. We better not find you on Dalmund, I swear. I don't understand it from like a leveling perspective, is my big thing. Alright, so now we should just be able to do something to that nature. Wait a minute. So if we take this here, and then we do this number, and then there is if you're playing on stream. They will ban your account for that. You're doing it on stream. No, it's not extra. It's not extra points, I think, is the problem. I think it's... I don't know. I don't know what's going to be the problem. I'm kind of... One of the things that I'm doing is basically making it all up as I go. You know what? Fair enough. Yeah, basically, I gotta make this area in between. What happens if I just... I forgot, there's an easy button for this. Literally, the triangulate faces button is perfect for that job. I'm just sitting here doing it manually, and then they're like, ah, nah, bruh, you got this. Or we got this, let's do that. That actually doesn't look too bad. Only thing I don't like is this bit right here. And so now I got a decision to make. Yeah, see, like, I don't like this piece right here, but that might also just be something that if I do something to the nature of that, and then take this to here, that sort of fixes it. Wait a minute. Let's try that. Now, the way I fixed it on the other model, the mouth didn't have this circular topology that goes around like this. The mouth went down, like the top lip went down towards the chin, and the upper lip or the lower lip ended up going up towards the eye. That being said, this is perfectly fine and valid for having a face topology, because
friggin' believable.
This should be pretty solid for now. I can't foresee anything going wrong with it. Let's go with that. Now we got to hide that. And then we're gonna have some real fun producing faces. By coming over here and working on the mouth bag. Yeah, it is one of those it is one of those things with 3D modeling. It gets real weird real fast. Uh-oh. So, fun little tidbit, the freaking monitor that I put OBS on whenever I'm streaming is straight up plugged in right next to where I like to like put my foot. It's not ideal. Not gonna lie. Okay, so if I have that, and then maybe, I don't know. Yeah. Thing is, the iPhone's charger is right next to it. So I ended up, there have been several times where I've accidentally unplugged the iPhone during stream. And that's fine. I mean, it's like, it's not that big of a deal. Dude, see, that's a smart, I've done that before. One time I had on my main monitor, I was using like a capture card and had it set up so that way my Switch would output directly to my monitor, right? And then I had on my actual tablet, I had VC face so I could see what my model was doing, and then also a checklist so that way I could go through and make sure I 100%ed Metroid Prime. Oh, see, I'm a privileged asshole. I get to have 3 monitors. 4 if you count the VR headset. Nah, man, it's not even my mom. It is all me. Okay. See, you gotta get a nice big chunky desk. What the hell? I feel like there are topology reductions I can do right here. But it's all going to be stuff like so we're going to take this, merge it last. Merge it last. And then that's still quad, but like, and that will be quad eventually. But that's a center line, so I don't want to do that. So let's go here and reduce it there. That way I can maintain, so that way I can maintain my, yeah, that works. Dude, managing, I have a freaking rat's nest behind my computer. I really dislike that. Like, as much use as I actually do seem to get out of having 2 or 3 monitors, and stuff for like tablets and drawing and all that jazz, it is such a pain in the ass whenever it comes down to like managing all these cables. There we go. That's starting to look pretty solid. And then we can do this. And there we go. We have a solid looking mouth bag. I could probably do the reduction a little bit on the inside of the lips, because that's what this loop is. But I want to kind of leave that nice and flexible for mouth deformations. Alright. So let's take a look at our Guilty Gear reference again. Yeah, I can't tell, but I feel like they actually make the lips for Guilty Gear characters look like proper lips. See, for me, it's just the hassle of like, I like having all my stuff tidy. And so whenever I look behind my desk and it's just like an explosion of cables, I'm sitting here constantly just like, I should fix that. But I've already tried to fix it, and it can only get so, without proper covers and all that, it can only get so decent looking. Okay. We need to make these look like actual lips. Is what I'm pretty much seeing. So, hold on. Let's see if we can make this slightly better. Wait a minute. If we want to talk about masculine anime lips, masculine, Gojo. Yeah, like, and it has the labial crease right here to help define it. We got all these spots on them, and I gotta just kind of make them work out now. So we're just gonna we're gonna play around with the shaping of it until it starts looking like a mouth, at least from the front. And then once it starts looking like a mouth from the front, I think this, I'm gonna just take an opportunity to mark this as sharp. It's not gonna stay sharp, I just need it as like a center line, essentially. So now if I do this, oop, I did not mean to hit the space. And then, doot, 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 doot. This line right here is actually where the nasolabial crease needs to happen. So we need to have a crease like this. And then and so this is like my whole process, because it's kind of a boring one whenever you get like actually start getting into it, because it's just pushing and pulling points until something looks about right. It's not, and then you got to come over here to the side view and the top view and all these other views and be like, does that look solid? Yes or no. I do find it hilarious that Gojo is like, why is he so pretty? Just like straight up. How are mouths supposed to look from the inside? Yeah, so like this fold right here that is supposed to define the area between the like, it's that little spot right over your right between. Wait a minute. Hold on. Yeah, the Cupid's bow. Dude, I like, here's the thing. This type of work just gels with me. Sculpting is I've done sculpting. I don't dislike sculpting. It's just not the way that my brain or it's just not the way that I've found that my brain operates, right? Yeah, see, there we go. We can all hold on. And then we just got to fix this topology beneath the mouth to help make it fit more towards the actual like rim that we're looking at. Because then this piece right here should probably come up. And then this piece, what the hell? Oh, that's the armature. And so then if I fix this up a little bit, like so, that'll start to look a little, we can start making that look a little bit better. I feel like this can come in a little bit more. You want to see the one, I don't know if I still have the sculpt for it, because knowing me, I would have deleted it. I did sculpt and retopologize one time. Retopo is fun to me though, because like I just work in that well-structured mindset, right? Like I don't know, it's one of the reasons why I like having a mechanical character, because it's like, oh, it's just straight up topology. I don't have to think about anything other than how do I make a cylinder? Or how do I make this look natural? I don't have to care about that. It can look mechanical, it can move mechanical. We like mechanical. Anywho, only character I've ever actually sculpted was this character. His name is Dino Magus. And I sculpted his head and then retopologized his head. I don't think I kept his original head though. Or like, I don't think I kept his original sculpted head. Yeah, and I think the way I've been thinking about it lately is that there are some people in the world who are just straight up artists, right? Like their brain flows a lot more naturally than I would say than other people's. So they can flow from one spot to another spot and it's like drawing fabric, right? Some people just get that. I don't. But Uh, I think that's because my brain doesn't work that way. I think my brain tends much more toward straight line or certain specific straight lines and engineering, which is why I have a degree in mechanical engineering. But like that's beside the point. Ah, there's a picture of the sculpt. Yeah. I knew I had a picture somewhere. See? And I was pretty happy with it, right? I was pretty happy with that. It was one of the first, it's not the first time I've sculpted. In Blender anyway. It's one of those, but it was the time that I felt like the most proud of the sculpt, and then converting it into actual topology made my brain very happy, because then I could start identifying, oh, this needs to be a round loop right here. I need to have certain loops right here to make the eyes work. You know, that kind of stuff. And so if we actually like look at his head as far as like a topology thing, when I got down to this part, it became so much easier to work with, and I was like, oh, I get it. And then, you know, texturing is going to do a big bit of the heavy lifting with this character eventually. That being said, with just my Toon shader on, it looks pretty solid. Any hoozles. Back to actually making this Gonbantian's face. Okay. I think I think the mouth needs to curve out like this as far as it goes, like the lips going from the side. Lips side view. Yeah, see, so kind of, if we look at this normal bite, it kind of does that shape, huh? Which makes me think, so then this needs to come back a little bit more. Yeah, his mouth is pretty flat right now that I'm looking at it. That's fine. Gotta remember also that this is a female mouth that I'm looking at. Yeah. Well, overlapping is fine, but it's not very natural. So we're going to first of all, this seam right here needs to come up. Like, massively. Ugh. Fun fact, the base mesh I used for his face was actually my base mesh, or was my face. So if I do this with his face, I can do it with my face, and that gives me ideas for V4. Realistically, my model's mouth hasn't changed that much between V1, V2, and V3. Well, it changed a lot for V2, or from V1 to V2. V2 to V3, though, not at all. I think I added a few more polygons, and that was about it. Yeah, I like that. That's still, and that restored a quad there. So it does that now. Yeah, yeah. And now his lips actually are starting to look a lot more like lips. Yes, I like that. Gojo. Side view. I think looking at other sources, because this character is supposed to be incredibly anime. Looking at other sources of anime characters, because like I know, like look how deep the mouth goes on an anime character versus how shallow the mouth is on this one. So what I'm thinking I need to do here now is let's take this and turn on proportional editing, which is about as close as I get to sculpting. Ugh. Don't worry, we'll fix that. We'll fix that in post. And then we'll take that, hide his hair again. Why is his hair showing? And then we're gonna have to fix this. This mouth bag is, yeah, I've always struggled with flat face, or with ending up with my faces looking pretty flat. Like that was something I had to specifically fix between V2 and V3 of my current, or of my model. Was feeling like, oh wow, the face is too flat. It's one of those things that I recognize logically, but not in practice, you know? Finding those, I think finding those weaknesses in myself as an artist is not a bad thing. It's just one of those things I don't try to do all that often. Much to probably, much to honestly my own set or pain. Yeah. I think it also comes a little bit from a lack of understanding how, like, heads are shaped. Weirdly, or if in a weird way, you know? Let's pull that edge of the mouth bag back. That should prevent the clipping there. And we end up with something. And that looks even a little, you can see that it actually starts looking a little bit better just from multiple angles. Can't doubt that it's going to deform a bit better too. I do feel like I do have a bit more space now to pull like this part of the mouth out a little bit. You know? So for instance, we don't need proportional editing on anymore. Yeah. There we go. That we got to look at the 3D views of this now. And just stretch it out a little bit, give it that proper curvature of a mouth. That would start dissipating right around there. Then hit it with the good old relax tool. I think that's actually starting to come together properly. That part's supposed to be the most forward part. Do I know what I am doing? Then it should start. It should start doing a bit more mixing as it goes through, since it's not supposed to be Bernie Hogarth styled lips. Let's see here. How does that? I feel like this could be pulled in a little bit more. Just a tad. It's once I start getting down to these minutia detail changes that it becomes really a pain in the ass. Know what I mean? Like, for a lot of people, like, if you're doing 2D art, it's whenever you start, like, getting to the nitty-gritty of looking at specific pixels. And you're not doing pixel art. If you are doing pixels, or pixel art, you probably should care about the nitty-gritty of each individual pixel. Then this freaking corner right here. This is the worst part about working on mounts. I swear to God, like, hand to God, that is the worst. It's honestly one of the reasons I really liked working on Juice Noose's mouth, because of the specific styling of it, made it so that spot right there, it just sort of blended really well. Yes, but see, Naku, we have you gotta remember, I'm not right in the head. I'm sitting here complaining or I'm sitting here doing 3D modeling. Name me one 3D modeler who you know who is right in the head. Go on, I'll wait. Let's see here. You will not be able to find one. If you claim to be one, you are a damned liar. Shut up, that's a good one. Damn it. It's a really good joke. I want this corner to be, I feel like if I want this corner to be the corner, this whole edge essentially needs to come down. And we'll fix the mouth bag later. Yeah, well, that might be unfortunate for you because I'm not here all week. You might be here alone, dude. Make sure to turn off the lights whenever you leave. You're the mouse that lives in the cupboards, right? That's why you have access to all the cookies and sweets. I can't. Unfortunately, all of my strawberry cheesecake has already been promised to one hero strain. Brings up the interesting question: how how hard would Hero fight for some cheesecake? And this shit right here is why mouth corners suck ass.
Oh, that doesn't sound very heroic.
Do we have to be? Or do we have to be heroic whenever we're fighting for the survival of our dessert rights? Here's my bit with the whole zoomed in to like a frankly ludicrous point. In Blender, I find it to be almost a necessity to do, right? Because like you do have to almost care. If you're not working on like a sculptor's level of topology or like polygon count, you have to worry about each individual point to try and get it to look a certain way. Meanwhile, so it's kind of hard that's where I find it really hard to sit there and be like, okay, let me refocus onto the things that actually matter with this model, which is just difficult. Let's see here. Aside from the mouth looking a little gappy right there, I think that's actually fine. Oh, for me, it's always just stuff like, whenever I draw, I always end up getting lost in my scale. So for instance, let's look at let's open up Clip Studio real quick and look at the last thing I drew. And see if I can identify what I got lost scale at that point. I haven't drawn in Clip Studio in a hot minute. I've used Clip Studio. Okay, so like these two emotes that I made. First of all, if I can, let's talk about how small. Somebody go ahead and put one of those finger emotes up there. Because like, and we can talk about it. Because nobody's going to notice that there's a little extra ink right here. Just with the scale of that emote, right? Nobody's going to sit here and nobody's going to sit here and notice if I messed up one little bit of coloring either. Oh, that's cool. Everything I do is just straight up digital. Let's see, last cover I did. Yeah, and like, okay, I know about I won't call it brush dust, but like brush strokes, right? I know about those from model kit painting, or from like model painting and all that jazz. I do that too! I posted this picture on Twitter thinking it was done, but I never did the lines inside the shading for the actual backgrounds and TPs and stuff. That being said, I'm still really happy with how this one turned out. I need to do more drawings. Was the last. I really needed. Okay, so now we can start pulling the. Now we can start sealing things up, probably, to make it so that way these look a little bit better. Grab. Then if we do that and pull it back, straight back. This may unironically be one of the best set of normal lips I've ever drawn. Like the Bernie Hogarth ones I felt really good with because they had a nice, they came together really nicely. These ones come together almost just as nicely, and they have that, they still have that like loop around like this. I'm actually pretty happy about that. So it's even better though. Dude. 12. What kind of illustrations do you do? Movie posters? 12 meters, that's like 36 feet. No shit, dude. Right.
Bruh.
Yeah. That's freaking massive. Let's see here. Let's flatten this out a little bit. I could not imagine something I do ever getting to that scale. I'm gonna be entirely real. And I feel like at that point, then it's justified to be like scrounging over every little detail, right? There we go. That's a nice set of that's a nice set of lips right there. Then we can take this piece out right here. We can take this bit right here. Turn on proportional editing. And start adding a little bit of volume. Give him that give him the youthful collagen in it. You know, the thing that people all along the world will pay many, many dollars for. Dear Sharp. And we maintained the face shape that I wanted. Awesome. I've done this on I did this on the model that I was talking about earlier. This. No, we do not. I don't think we need this one either. Yeah. Right? That's how I feel like it's going. And then if you start rotating it, you only end up with a little bit of weirdness right here. But that's such a weird angle to look at it from anyway. And especially from a VTuber concern. Hold on. I bet you I can figure out what happened here. Because I have a vertex group called No Border. And if I select it, yep, that's exactly what I thought had happened. So the No Border vertex group helps make it so that way certain shapes do not affect the model too much, right? Or like don't affect the outline of the model. Because like if you look right here at how it tapers inward, that's because I don't want, if I didn't have that group, like let's just say I go over to my solidify modifier and we just delete that. If you look from the side, okay, the side profile looks fine. But then you'll end up with these little mouth corner divots that look not terrible, but not great. We also end up with these extra lines right here around the eyes that make him look like he's very into My Chemical Romance. And we don't like that. So I want to control those using extra stuff like, man. We're not pulling the evil's Dragon Ball Z character. We're pulling the, like, good Dragon Ball Z character. The good, serious Dragon Ball Z character. I don't think I'm changing much else here. The only thing I could think to do now would be to change up. I think we're good. Yeah, I think we're pretty solid now. And that only took an hour? Honestly, I'm gonna stick with that. That only took an hour. Holy shit. I feel like this should be pulled in slightly more. They say you can pick your nose and you can pick your friends, but you can't pick your friend's nose. But that's just because they don't know that you made your friend's nose and that you had to pick it out. Oakley dokley. So now what do we do? I'm gonna fix the eye bag real quick because that's not a big thing, but it bothers me. It's an inefficiency thing. Oh my god. They really couldn't, could they? All we're gonna do for the eye bag is probably remove some of these extra internals and then merge all these so that way it comes to the center like so. Take this, 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 and this, relax it so that way it does this. Take this, delete that. Take this, delete that. Because it's the internals of the eye, so we don't actually need that. We just need the ability to have it go into the actual head like so. Oakley dokley. As far as efficiency stuff goes, that's pretty much the minimum I would say needs to happen just to make things look good. I'm a stickler for this kind of shit, though. So what I'm gonna do real quick is I'm gonna probably come down here right at the base of the jaw. And do some, we're gonna do some reductions. Because I like doing reductions. They make my brain happy. So if we take this one, and this, or so if we start from the center, I like how defined the neck gets right there, but I feel like this line in particular, while it helps the jaw, is not helping the neck very much. So now I need to go through here and take this. And hold on, is that the right way to do this? Doot, doot, doot. There we go. That's how you're supposed to do it. That's how you properly reduce. You take your knife, you carve out. Let's see here. It might be easier to show on like a spot above where it's easier to catch those types of things. This is also not too unheard of, by the way. Actually, you want to know what's really not unheard of? If we take his hair and we see how much that's going to cover, we can actually come over here now and basically get rid of everything covered up by the hair. Because we don't need it. Why do we need it? Nobody said we needed this. Some parts of it are just very much you want to keep them there so that way you can have a in case you want to do a bald option. But we don't want to. He's gonna always have hair. So in theory, nothing's changed. And if I keep my rigging correctly, let's say I do, you shouldn't be able to ever tell that he doesn't have half a skull. Right? And so then we just come over here and hold on. So this number, triangles, that's how many polygons are in this model. This is only half the head. Half the head has 2,300 polygons. If I take this whole section here and just delete that, we now went from 2,300 polygons to 1,800 polygons. So that's about 500 polygons saved. That's about for half a head. Which means for the total head, we saved 1,000 polygons. We saved at least one Mario 64 model in that. And we can get a bit more specific in there. Make things a lot more, start pulling things out as we get like, okay, I don't need that face, or that one. Because that's all covered up by the hair. Or these ones. We're gonna keep that one because it's a little close. And this is where you get truly neurotic. This is where I get truly neurotic. Because for some reason, in my career as a 3D modeler, I got it in my head that the lower the poly count I can make it, the better of a 3D modeler I am. I know that's not necessarily true, but it's somehow true in my brain. And so we're gonna just treat it as if it is true. To the point where I am cutting out literally just singular triangles. And the only thing you can see is literally this one little corner where his hairline meets his forehead. But no, you don't. with just his hair front piece is going to cover that up really well. Plus, now it's a lot more easy. It's a lot easier to animate with, and it's a lot easier to look at. And we're gonna pull some. We're gonna pull some model cut, or we're gonna pull some model reductions back here because we don't need that. So that would be, let's take this line and this line and this line, and boop, gone. Except because this is the back of the head, we don't actually need that reduction. We can just merge it at the center like that. Basically all I could, that cut right there was unnecessary. I could just do this. Actually, when I do subdivision, I like to go with the rule of I only want 2/3 of the subdivision. So I'll usually take a line and go 1, 2, delete the third. 1, 2, delete the third. 1, 2, delete the third. And then I can just take these out and like, I can take this now. And essentially respace it. And it'll usually be pretty close to what the subdivided version of the model actually was. And it's a lot more polygon efficient. Yeah, so we can take this, and this, and this, this, and this, there. Space it out. Boom. Looks, and it still looks pretty smooth and solid and good. And especially with our Toon Shader on, you can't tell a difference. And that works going not just in one direction either. You can do the same thing. So like 1, 2, delete the third. 1, 2, delete the third. And then we'll just use the edge slide here to help make it smoothed out a little bit more. And so now we have gone from a total of at least 2,500 polygons to a significantly smaller amount, and I could actually I could reduce it more because the forehead doesn't move very much, so it doesn't need to deform very much. So we can do that. And then, like I said, the forehead doesn't deform very much, so we can actually, but we still want to keep some area above the eyebrows, so we're going to keep it like so. And we do it again on its neighbor. I try. If there's anything I have accomplished as far as becoming a 3D modeler, it's it's learning how to be efficient. And learning whenever something is not necessary. And so now his entire, like I've cut out so much of this model, but his face looks the same and it's going to present the same. And if I go over here and I look at it with his hair on, you're not going to really be able to see where I made all those cuts and changes. Unless you're looking at it like literally right here, in which case that kind of just looks like the back of his hair or some more hair there. Or if you're really wanting to fix it, you just take this and turn on proportional editing. Ta-da! We tucked it in. We're holding in his brains. It's fine. And we can just hide it all in there, right behind his hairline. And then, and take this. I just realized the mirror shit wasn't on. Uh-oh. So it's okay. We have the mirror modifier to fix that, or to fix mistakes like that. That's great. We love that. I've liked working on this model quite a bit. Except there have been some times where I'm working on it and I've asked the person whose model this is for like input, right? And he has come back with the artist's hated response of, well, can you make it more dynamic? Not choosing to come in and explain what he means by more dynamic. I found out what he meant was add more spikes. The vague feedback, we hate it. And so I did end up figuring it out. More spikes. Which is fine. I wasn't opposed to adding more spikes. Aside from, I'll have to rig more spikes now. Whatever. Not that big a deal. But vague feedback sucks ass. It upsets me so much. But now we can actually, now that we have his head in a spot that I'm okay with, I think what we're going to do is review his model. Dude, honestly, I think that the vague feedback comes from people who don't understand as much about art as they think they do. It can, especially when they think they're using the right words. It's not so much that they're doing it out of like pain in the ass attitude. I forgot I already rigged his shoulders. So yeah, I don't want to mess with that. It's not coming from a place of like, basically, it's not coming from a spot of assholery. As much as it's coming from a space of ignorance. Okay, so his arm comes across his chest pretty well. And then let's pull normal. Yeah, he deforms well. Oh my god, that one. I've had that one with non-art, or with like non-art things. I've had that one happen at work. And I work in an engineering position. It sucks ass. Yeah. I just end up doing the thing that I think I'm supposed to be doing. Is that a child of the hips? Yes, it is. Perfect. So... why? Right, because we put the mirror modifier on this. Okay, and the mirror modifier is... alright. We fix it. You have no idea how often I have to come back through and make sure I fixed everything correctly. Nah, a child of the hips is not what you think it is. It's not child. Does he look like he has childbearing hips? Have you seen the Prococo video talking about the difference between male and female hips? Where he just slam dunks a baby through like the female skeleton's hips and it just goes and sails through. But then it tries to do the same with the male skeleton's hips and it's just stuck and it's just chaos and bedlam. Oh my god, it's great. Anywho, let's see here. I moved this all down to deform layers because I did not feel like giving him. I didn't feel like managing a whole bunch of layers. I'm gonna have to start making more layers, aren't I? So first of all, what we're gonna do is then go to the head, extrude, then disconnect this from the head. This is gonna be this is going to be ponytail .001. And we're gonna start our ponytail's bone off right here, like so. And then we're gonna stop that bone there so that way I can make a child of it. So I can make children of it for each of these little sprongles. I don't know if that's the right. There is not a technical term for it, so I have always just called them sprongles because they feel like sprongles, you know? Actually, that kind of I remember a thing. I'm supposed to do this in order to volume center. Yeah. So now I can take this and it should kind of auto come down and fit in the center. So now I should just, and it doesn't work like half the time. What the hell? I think it's because I'm using the norm. I think the actual problem is that it has a hard time finding the like center of certain volumes. I also learned that it depends on what axis that you're setting things up on. Let's see here. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bones. So now you get to see how I rigged oh right, I gotta move all these to the hair, or to a hair layer. So we're gonna call this hair. And then we can, Naku, if you rig models, get yourself and you don't use the latest version of Blender, which has it built in. You should definitely 100% get the bone layers add-on. Bone layers add-on is so good. It has saved me so much time and made it so much easier for me to work on stuff because I could just keep myself so organized. I feel like this one should split a little bit. An achieve version? There's a version of Blender with achievements? What kind of achievements do you think they have? I'm just giving you a hard time. I got rid of the random snack redeem a while ago, but the cookie redeem is now the random snack redeem. I just didn't want to change the programming and all the colors and stuff. At least it should be. Hold on. Because if we look at... Nope. Yeah, so have a cookie. Objects. Wait a minute, it was supposed... What the hell? Those are defaults, I don't like those. Yeah, it was supposed to be all of these. Wait a minute. I made these for a different person who never debuted. It'd be a shame to let them go to waste. Yeah, and it's supposed to throw 3 now. Yeah. I think that's because I didn't end out. Oh, word. I know exactly what you're talking about. The fun one with the apple. I have it set up so it actually like swap it whenever it gets thrown as a whole apple. And then when it hits the model, it gets eaten. It's great. Dude, there have been so many problems with the latest version of Unity that I'm just so glad I didn't upgrade it whenever I thought, like, I kind of thought I'd been keeping up with it. And I thought I'd been keeping up with it, but then I was just like, nah, man, we ain't doing that. It's kind of cringe. Okay, so there we go. That's one set of bones. I would like to only rig the ponytail right now. Or I only want to work on the ponytail. Dude. Honestly, that is one of the smartest policies that you can possibly have as far as like rigging or as like 3D modeling and anything tech goes. If it works, there's no need to upgrade. If it doesn't work, that's when you should look into upgrading. I even need this. Yes, I do. But I can take all these and merge them down to the center, can't I? Aha! Will anybody be able to tell? Eh, shit, it actually does add volume there. Necessary volume to even. Yeah, I only upgrade whenever, like I just said, something stops working. Or if there is a very, 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 very specific thing I need from the newest version. With Blender, it's a funny thing where where I can check to see if there's an add-on first, right? Let's see here. So this is a child of the head. So we don't want to mess with that for now. I actually don't want to mess with anything. We're just leaving that one as a root. The only stuff we want to start messing with is right here. Control-I-H. Oh my god. I don't know. And it's low-key one of my big irks as like just somebody who makes a thing, right? Oh, I don't have the bones for that. Like, it legitimately bothers me for no reason other than they're just sitting, like, okay, when are you planning on actually doing something? Are you going to ever show up? No? Then shut the fuck up. Get out of my way. Quit being pre-debut. Actually, you know what else is a different one? Whenever they're pre-debut, but they're actively streaming with their model doing the thing. What are you waiting for? What is it? How are you not debuted? That one gets to me too. I know it shouldn't, but it does. Hold on, I'm gonna add this bone. We're gonna go ahead and add that bone right there. This is having issues because I see. Okay, so you know what the pre-debut thing means then, right? So what's the point of it? I understand it as a point of trying to build up hype. I really do. I get that part. Like, that's something I messed up on too. I didn't do a pre-debut. I just showed up one day. I was like, yep, cool. I have really good, or I have solid rigging for somebody who made their own shit. Obviously, that means I'm going to instantly attract a following, right? No. Yeah, exactly. That's what I did. I just sort of started streaming and then fixed shit on the fly. And I was like, I was for some reason so convinced that because I used the Apple AR Face Kit for my map or for my motion tracking, that was all I needed. Exactly. It doesn't. It's not like some. The only reason a debut would matter is if you had some sort of following before streaming. That's my big opinion on it. If I had, like, let's say I was just a straight up. Yeah, exactly. The pre-debut is you farming for followers. So that way, whenever you actually do debut and, go live for the first time, you don't go live to an audience of one, that one being yourself. I can kind of get that part if people actually weren't going live during their pre-debut. Yeah, that's why I think it was probably a bigger deal to stuff like idols, where they had experience already, and then they just sort of, this was just a new avenue for them to be reachable. Don't be so hard on yourself. You're doing something that is frankly a massive time suck, and you're doing it for fun of your own thing, right? Like, let's be real. You're not getting paid to do this. I mean, not unless you're literally pulling in hundreds of viewers every stream. You're not getting paid to do it. Yeah, nah, man. That's not like a kick anybody while they're down kind of thing. That is, oh, you just gotta recognize certain things at certain times. Ooh, I just realized I need to turn on. I need to do this and move that to that layer as well. My big thing is that I know I keep saying I have like a million big things. I've had to go through on my own head and remind myself so many times this is a hobby. I'm not doing this to get famous. I'm not doing this to pay my bills. It is okay if I have a small stream number. The only reason that I want a large stream number is because I'm competitive. And that's perfectly fine and valid. Kind of an asshole, though. It does kind of make me a teensy bit of an asshole. To sit there and be like, I'm better than you. Why do you have a bigger stream number than me? That's not how that works. Other people are out there just doing it for fun too. Yeah, in case you were wondering, there's a reason I don't play competitive games anymore. Like, I used to play League. No. League is gone. League is dead. We don't like League anymore. Dude, here's the thing. Having a large community and having a minuscule community are the exact same. If you get 1,000 people per stream, right? How often are you going to interact with any one of those 1,000? That's the point. Whereas you're, so like, if you're not going to be able to interact with them very often, then you can't, like, I can't sit, if I had 1,000 people here, I couldn't sit here and talk to you on an individual basis. If you've been here whenever I do end up having a slightly larger number, like let's say 10, and it's 10 with like 4 people who are very chatty, I'll get lost between 4 different conversations. That's the thing that I struggle with. So I'm okay with having a small community, because I'm not good at handling a large community. And once you get to a certain large community size and you can't keep up with the streams, you're basically having to talk to yourself again, as if you're streaming to just one. You just get to have more people to react to you doing stupid shit. Let's see here. Hell yeah. That looks alright. Weight painting wise, it's not great. And we can tell it's not great because if I come over here and start bending it, it looks very shankety. Yeah. It's different if you build that it's, you have them in X, they come and go. Yeah. Most of the people who follow me on X, I don't know. And I don't think I ever really have interacted with. Not a bad thing, I haven't. But then again, I also hate social media, so like, it's a wonder why I stream then. I stream if you hate social media. Isn't streaming participating in social media? Yes, but also, there really isn't. Like, I'd say the most crossover I've ever had was like between other social medias and a stream is like TikTok. I think what we're going to do is we're actually going to take this phone. We'll add the 5 or the half weight to this one. I've also found the other most crossover being whenever you actually factually participate in other people's communities. Like, going and hanging out with your friends, and then their communities coming and hanging out with you too. Like, that's one of those things that I think is a strong part, or like a strong argument for collabs, is introducing yourself to people that might not know who you are. God, I'm acting like I know what I'm talking about. I really don't. I straight up just sort of exist. And then sometimes people find me and sometimes they don't. That being said, like Bad Times Virus, somebody who I hang out with quite regularly now. She only figured out about me randomly through Twitter, which happened through Nade's community. Which was pretty neat. Oh my god, I love her so much. She is so fun to hang out with. I love hanging out and talking with her. And she is one of those people that I feel like I can she just kind of gets me. Plus, she has her own unique sense of style, and it's just so good. It's such a good sense of style. Which is one of those, and like the fact that I'm helping her with one of her projects that she's working on right now with Future Dimensions by working on Juice Noose's model makes me incredibly happy. What the hell? Because that means it feels like I get to share that unique experience of creating something with someone. That is not how that works.
Hail to the king.
Hi, Moira. You missed it. I did the mouth thing, and I showed how I went from subdivision to to the Guilty Gear mouth shapes. I feel like you would have appreciated that. Don't worry. I'm starting to upload VODs. So, man. You want to? Oh my god. Yeah, if you want, I can share. Like, I posted the VOD channel's YouTube link in Discord. Be sure to like, favorite, and subscribe. So it's dumb. Oh, do not subscribe to the VOD channel. I'm not going to It's literally a dump site. Just because Twitch hates holding on to shit for more than 2 weeks. Oh, you forgot the favorite part. Anywho. What was I going on about? Yeah, I talked about it pretty in depth and did like the whole process pretty solidly towards the beginning of stream if you want to check that out whenever I do eventually upload it. I'm trying to be pretty consistent with uploading them at the very least. They might not go up at the right time every day, or like at a consistent time stream, but like, they're getting up there. And, oh, you want to know the big secret? That I see, or like the big trick I figured it out? Yeah, that's kind of my whole thought process. Okay. So. Face. First things first. All I did, I basically came through here and then created, like, I deleted everything. below the corner of the nose to the side of the face, like where the like face transitions from the front to the side, right? But I didn't delete it. I dissolved it. Like so. So it looked like that, right? So it looked like it was just one giant N-gon of a face. Then I clicked it, and then I right-clicked that face and said triangulate faces. And that got me most of the geometry. Aside from this part right here looking kind of stupid. Which I then came through and fixed up on my own. And then I redefined the lips to make them look more lip-shaped, and that was it. Only ones I did manually were this area right here for the Cupid's bow. Then other than that, the yeah, so you need to, yeah, I had that problem with Juice's face at first. And so you might just need to make like the lips smaller. Unless you're just going for like giant bimbo lips, and that's its own thing. That might present its own issues. Ah, so then you made, well then you might end up, the Guilty Gear style mouth might not be the kind of mouth you want to do then, because you do kind of need a massive amount of space. But if we look at other Toon styled stuff, let's see here. Toon face topology. One of the ones that I really like is always like this one. Yeah, and as long as you can kind of revert and go backwards, it's pretty fine. Like, there's a reason this topology is pretty standardized at this point, where it's just sort of, it's pretty standardized to a certain point, and we can only refine it so much and mess with it so much, thinking we're so clever, and then you find out, oh wait, no, you're not. Maybe, maybe not. My big thing with this face topology type is that it's got so much empty space. It's how I'm thinking of it, where it's just space essentially that is set up in a way to it's basically space that is set up in a way to make it, it's just colored area essentially, so that way the mouth can kind of like free float in it. I'm kind of digging that. I did see what you were talking about last time whenever I was talking about it, where it does seem like it's going to end up making it super flat in certain areas. And that you do have to be careful with the cheeks and make sure that you do end up sort of doing the cheeks properly. Or like setting the cheeks shape up properly so that way it doesn't like completely die on itself. That did not look good. So something I like to do, particularly with like hair and such, hair, fingers, anything that I use a curve to develop, I like to come through and basically try to straighten the bone out. Because if I can deform the bone and get the hair to look pretty solid while it's straightened out, like that, that means it's most likely going to probably bend pretty solidly. Especially around these parts with like the super curves. I've had a lot of practice with hair again lately. It has made my brain a bit sad. Not gonna lie. Just because of how much I've had to do. And also, thank God for the blur tool. You don't, motherfucker. Don't know about the blur tool. It is a godsend. Oh my god. Rigging. Terrible. Rigging's terrible in general. Let's be real. Like, if you can, I think that's why it's the skill that you have to pay, that you're really paying for whenever you pay for somebody to, whenever you commission a 3D model from anyone. That's what you're actually paying for, is somebody to rig your model. Hmm. Ah. Uh-huh. Dude, as long as you have the topology fine, rigging bodies ain't nothing.
Unfriggin' believable.
The only reason rigging hair kind of sucks is because, like, especially with the way that I know you model it and the way I model it, because I taught you how I model it. Curve converting into non-curve topology is just terrible. Yeah, no, I don't mind doing like the weight painting of it. I don't mind. I don't like the weight painting of it. I do like setting up all of like the actual like IKFK stuff. That shit's fun. But then again, I'm a nerd. I went to college to develop or to learn how to do mechanical engineering, where they literally taught me how to do IKFK by hand for robot arms. But like, still, that's not the point. The point is, I was able to transfer that knowledge from robot arms to robot arms. What the hell happened here? Did I screw? No, 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 no. No, the hair's. So the topology is fine. So what the? Which piece? Who's got control here that should not have control here? Cool deal. How'd that go? I imagine if you set up your I imagine if you set up your UVs pretty decently, it probably didn't go, or it probably went a lot smoother than most people would expect. Yeah, I can see that. Okay, so with this hair, I'd say we're just about done. Because it's gonna let's be real, this level of curve or curl on the ponytail is going to be an extreme edge case. It's not normal. It's fine for it to not be normal. And to have it kind of prepared in case, or just in case. But it is not, you gotta recognize when you're going overboard. So why am I continuing to do it? Aha, because I have brain rot. The brain rot. Also because playing with the blur brush is pretty fun. Yeah, hold on. Let me save this real quick and open up Juice's model real quick. Because here's the thing. Juice is probably one of the most muscular models I've made. So we're gonna turn off his clothes. And he is naked. Don't worry, that's clay. That's not skin, it's clay. It's for sculpting. It's a bodysuit, exactly. That being said, we can also do, I don't know what happened there, but there.
Harry baby.
Okay. So, if we look at Juice's body, the thing that sets up the bicep properly is not the bicep. It's the shoulder. Like straight up, that's it. Like, see how I have a shoulder loop that goes around the top of in the ring where it meets at the armpit. But then the one right before that literally goes under the chest. And then we have another one that goes to the other armpit. But these ones continuously go up the chest. Then I built the shoulder to the point where it rounded out to have cut into the deltoid cuts into where that spot where the bicep and the tricep meet. So this spot, literally this curve right here. And that, in my opinion, is really what sets up the bicep to really work out to be the right shape, because then you can balloon it to being a very large and muscular bicep. Similarly with it works very similarly with the tricep. Other than that, I don't know, do bicep curls. That is how you make a nice muscular bicep. Yeah, and I've messed with shoulder topology in and of itself is pretty weird. So basically you want to just kind of just need to play around with it until it starts working. Because like, this is what my shoulder topology ends up looking like and how it ends up looping around. We end up with an actual loop that most of it goes onto the back and like the chest. And then these lines actually go up and down the body like that. It's very weird. some of these loops are get very weird. Yeah, I've also found, like, wait a minute, I could have shown you on, to show that in another example. Let's look at, oh, I won't be able to show it because I got rid of his body underneath the shirt. But basically, you can almost see, and I put cuts into the shirt to actually make it look like it actually had a thing. But you can see sort of a similar topology, even if it has been bastardized and cut, right here in this model. And so, like, I had to make some cuts and stuff to make it so that way it would have wrinkles, but basically the exact same idea. I've seen biceps that are really low poly, where they have, oh, let's look at my bicep. That's not even a joke. You could make essentially my bicep using 3 faces. So for instance, let's say I want to go, let's just do a new one. So we're going to go here, and we're just going to start with a cube, because that's kind of what we already need, right? And then I said we were going to do 3, so we're going to cut. What that actually means is we're just going to take this and this, scale them inward sideways like that, so we end up with like that kind of shape, right? It's going to be hexagonal. And then we're going to create a loop going up that would eventually become the shoulder. And we'll take this one and pinch it in and pull it down. And then we'll take this face and extrude it straight down and do that. And then if we're going to take this, shoulder's going to suck, or this shoulder is going to suck. I 100% recognize that. And we're just going to use the spin, and we're going to spin it along the y-axis. Ah, it's spinning around the 3D axis, or the 3D cursor. Oops. They really do. They are butt cheeks to make. And if we take that in a little bit too, then we take this as our dummy shoulder, and then we do our spin. Spin tool, by the way. So good. No, we're gonna, let's keep it to 3 because that keeps us having a nice looking kind of thing. And then this shoulder is just for example, by the way. This is not a good topological shoulder. So you see what I mean? The part of what defines your bicep is your shoulder, because your shoulder is sitting there creating the indent that will eventually become the bicep. And so even with like this kind of shitty version of a shoulder, that doesn't look too terrible. And so we can relax that down into there, relax this up to here. And then I like to make the head top of the bicep closer to the top because I think whenever I've observed biceps, they are their peaks are closer to the shoulder, depending on how you work it out. They're also not entirely symmetrical with the there. And that's kind of what I would shoot for whenever I'm making a arm. Especially if I'm like going low poly. Make these go across, or yeah, I would even say take these real quick. And you can actually delete these tries. Faces. And then like, oh, we can delete that one too. And then we can take this across the chest. Boop. Actually, we can take all three of these and take them across the chest. And then, or we can take all three of these, take them across and make them into the chest. Today on Recoil Gets Distracted, he accidentally goes and models an entire body. Why? Just cuz. Doot doot. Let's see here. And then we take these two, do that, take this, do that, and then take this edge, pull it up a little, make that weird, it's a weird set of, it's a weird triangle kind of pentagon, or it's a weird quad. I don't like it, but I understand its existence. You know, the part where the like tops and sides get put together. It's very weird. And then you do another cut, or then you can put a cut here. And then and pull this piece out. You can basically take these whole set of faces and pull them out forward to be like, yep, there's your chest muscles. Take this part right here, pull it inward. Start playing with it until it starts looking like muscles. And then I think you can actually merge at center there. That'll maintain this. Holy shit, am I just goated with the sauce? The answer may surprise me. I am just goated with the sauce. What the shit? Recoil out here making up topologies since 1996. That's a lie. I haven't been 3D modeling since 96. I was born in 96. I swear to God, I haven't practiced these this much. I feel like I've stared and worked hard enough on them over time to where I just sort of get them. And so then we'd end up with a loop that does like that. And I think this would end up merge at last. And then last. Boom. Then we can take this, scale it to 0, so that way it's all on one plane. And relax. Squeeze it in because bodies aren't round like that. And try to, and basically just fix your geometry by edge sliding until things kind of make sense. Because this part ended up being kind of weird because I didn't set up the quad correctly, but yeah, there we go. Then oh, hey, look at that. I've stared at. Look, man, all I've got to say about it is I have fucked with shoulders and like shoulder topology a little too much for my own sanity sake. I just you don't need to add shoulder to that. I just need therapy probably. And then you pull this down because the inside of your bicep gets this sort of topology gets a little bit weird. And then if you really want to,
Hairy baby.
yeah, like so. Yeah. And basically, your whole goal is to basically shape it to, you're shaping the shoulder to then shape the bicep. And so might do something to the tune of like this. And like that. And depending, if you have more polygons, you can get away with more stuff, but like the simple structure of it is all still basically the same. Like that's a hexagonal bicep, but you can see that the hexagonal bicep was only born because the shoulder and chest muscles got made correctly. And like I could let's say I want to use less polygons because I'm me. And I think low polygons or a low poly count makes life go round. We can still do that. Yeah, technically a hexagonal bicep comes out of a, let's see. Stats. Yeah, I had to go from 10 edges to get down to 6. It's not a fun time. And it gets even worse if you're going to put clothes over it. Because if you're going to put clothes over it, and you're never going to take the clothes off, you can just get rid of the shoulder. Like I did with him. Honestly, I like making the bodies anyway, because then I can make sure that the clothes fit correctly, and so it doesn't seem like, oh wow, there's like, I don't take this bicep piece of it and be like, I don't, and it just doesn't look like he's wearing like stupid puffy shoulders, right? It just makes it feel proper. Beach episodes. Fair. God. And then we come back to the weight painting of hair. Yeah, like realistically, what's going to end up happening is that each one of these is going to bend a little bit past straight before it starts causing the other one to bend more. Yeah, so like that. Tell me that doesn't look good, and I will call you a liar. That's what was controlling it. The head. I don't think I needed this ponytail one bone. Oh, Kaledokali. We do not need this reference anymore. I think we're far beyond the point of needing references.
I'm touching the hair. It's fine. Just touch it. Feel it. It's so soft and smooth. Nothing to worry about. I'm just going to steal the softness for myself.
On a technicality? I feel like that's what this one should be. Thing is, I don't like using this one for the simple fact that I have to change, like, I have to go and change so many settings to make it like if I want the leap motion to work properly, I have to change where it's positioned in the model. And it's just so much hassle to get to using it. But it's so fun too, because like this shit. And this shit. I love this shit. This shit is fucking rad. Plus, it really appeals to the part of my brain that likes the Spider-Man style eyes. Okay. So first of all, the model is a completely different size. So I have a whole different set of characters. Second of all, because the proportions are so weird, I have to go down here and then like position. I have to position this down, and I just don't have that number memorized. So that way this looks normal. I wish I was Professional Weirdo. I am not. You think I could be a professional weirdo? I could be a professional weirdo. Then there's this bit where if I come back to this model, I now have to do this number and reset all my positioning. And it just, yeah. I don't wouldn't say it's I choose not to be a professional weirdo. I just No, because I cannot actually. Because that Sammy cannot control VC phase in of itself. And I can't set a hotkey to set the positioning of it. Like if I could set a hotkey to position it, so I just push a button and it swaps my models, that would be one thing. But I can't. Also, if you're a 3D model user, you can't see it because Xeno's message is in the way. Give it a moment. There's a setting. Aha, there it is. It's called movement range. It's fun as shit because it lets you do stuff like this. Yeah, Virus sent me a program and it's on Steam. I can't remember what it's called. I'd have to like, hold on. Bad times virus. Because she was talking about using different different programs for she was talking about using different programs for 3D because VNN is being a bitch. What's it called? Okay, that's just a ton of Gundam models. Because I love Gundam Breaker 4 so goddamn much. Where is it? Oh shit, I'm being raided while I'm looking at DMs. I should not be doing that. Hello, raiders. How are you? Hi, Cat. How was, hold on. How was your art stream? My art stream, I got distracted and made a whole shoulder and then deleted the whole shoulder, but like you can go back and see it later if you want. Doesn't really matter. Things. Boruto, that's the one. Yeah, here's the thing. I feel like a certain level of obtuseness needs to be accepted if you're using certain 3D things, if you want to get to a certain spot with those 3D things, though, you know? I need to send you a Clip Studio brush. Hold on. It's the best brush I've made ever. You're gonna love it. It's great. Oh, of course I still have it. It's fantastic for brush, or like for shrubbery and stuff. Let me see if I can pull it out real quick. Thank you for the follow, Dion. Yo, nice. Congratulations. Oh, to be fair, I haven't drawn in a hot minute on Clip Studio. So I can't even claim to use it myself. That being said, I think Cat in particular is just something tells me Cat is going to enjoy the brush itself. Alright, let's see here. Did I make it a pencil or did I make it a pan? Aha! Here we are. Yes. It's Sonic the Hedge brush. Yeah, and so like in a more legitimate sense, let's say you're actually wanting to paint some brushery. It just mixes really. I don't know. Because the way his feet and his quills are shaped, it kind of makes it look like leaves. And then it randomly rotates it so that way it's like, oh hey, look at that. And then you take a little bit of other green, or like a little bit of a brighter green, a more yellowy green, and you brush it on top. Take a little bit of a darker green, brush it along the bottom. I mean, here's the best part. You want to use it for line art? You can use it for line art. You just come down here, you set the brush size to be super small, and then you just start. Thing is, it's got that thing where it builds up. Because that's kind of what makes, or that was one of those things that I thought would be fun. And you can't even tell it's Sonic the Hedgehog because it just doesn't. Yeah, it's a blending brush. I think I still have that. Hold on. Let me see if I have the file for it real quick. It's very dumb. And I'm too. Exactly. Alright, Naku. You have a good rest of your night. Enjoy your sleeps. I have to be distracted and send this to and send this to Kat. Aha, Sonic the Hedgebrush. It's so stupid, I love it. I already do that. No, the problem isn't the camera settings necessarily. The problem is the settings for the leap motion, which are not hotkeyable. Like, that's the problem. Because I know how to do the hotkeyed camera. That's how I do this shit. I was going to hopefully land in the center, and then I was going to hopefully land in the center, and then I was going to hopefully land in the center and then do the dancing, but then that just didn't work out that way. Ah, man, I get you. It's one of those things where it's just there's only you can only expect so much from certain programs, and expecting more than that is just kind of being a pain in the ass. I'm just happy that VC, you know what? I'm actually not, there is something with VC Face that I'm not happy with right now. I'm not happy that we have not received an update to VC Face in quite some time. It's very concerning, and it makes me fear that it's becoming abandonware. Because, like, straight up, I don't want the program to become abandonware because I don't want to have to learn new shit. That would be kind of cringe, bro. Not gonna lie. Alright. That ponytail is the main body of the ponytail has been rigged and set up properly. Oh my god, I don't want to have to rig the lower part of the outfit. Rigging that is going to be a bitch. I hate rigging skirts. Yee. But you'd appreciate most of the music I listen to, probably, Cat. Alright, so if we take this piece, and I think take this 100%. I don't want. Ah. Yeah, that's pretty much what I've been listening to too. I think an acoustic version of Kryptonite came on earlier. That, if that shows you what headspace we are in for listening to music. I don't like the acoustic version as much as I like the regular version. Weight paint, damn it! We hate weight painting in this household. Weight painting makes me sick. It's a pain in the ass. Don't like doing it! But somebody's gotta do it, otherwise things don't move. Unfortunately. See, if we could have generative AI create weight painting for 3D models, I think that'd be pretty swell. But then I know it's also a slippery slope from going from automatic weight painting to, aha, look at that, we created a new 3D model for you. And I don't like that. Yeah, I do not like the idea that we could, or the 3D modeling community could be potentially replaced. It's not something I realistically fear, just because of how hard having to generate three-dimensional images would be. But it is still pretty, you never know, those tech bros, they're just out there doing their thing. And it's a scary thing. Whee! What is the last? Let's see here. We've messed with the face a lot, and now we're onto rigging. I need to delete that bone because we don't need that bone because it's because we'd be boned otherwise. Well, I wanted that bone so that way they'd have a similar parent, but like, Yes, I'm aware. Y'all like your water bone in or bone out? No, wait, that's not the joke. It's bone-in pizza. Damn it. It's bone-in pizza and diet water. That's what it's supposed to be. Okay. So now we're just going to create a bone for each of these other little sprongles. And we'll take this tail and move it on the X ever so slight, whatever, sure. And then we're going to take another one, Shift D, move its tail up in the Z. Oop, that's its head. There we go. Is that about the bone-in pizza, the diet water, or the song? Wait a minute, this feels a little bit too apt for listening to me, or for listening to me ramble. Dude, most of Foo Fighters like albums are just pretty awesome. And Dave Grohl as a person is just like kind of goals. It's like he got so big and so famous, and it's just like, as far as I'm aware, a relatively chill guy still. Like, I could not claim to get that popular and not let it go to my head as he has. Yeah, I was just about to say something. I did hear him, or I did see something. Like, people were very upset about something with him. I have no idea what it was. Okay, but let's be real. An affair? In the long history he's had as a rock star? No. I'm what I'm gonna say is like, that's like a small amount of problem that he could have been. I'd say the big problem with it would be if, like, the affair baby was with some 13-year-old. Oh my god, what happened to all of my bone rolls? They just kept rolling. And so, like, if you would be willing, Moira, if you would be willing to look that up so that way we're not just hitting here speculating, that would make me incredibly happy. Or, you know what? Wait, no, I have a stream. I can do this. I bet you if we just look up Dave Grohl, of having a flirty relationship with her, let's see here. Dave Grohl's ex-girlfriend Jennifer Finch backs him amid love child drama. So this is from The Independent, which is a UK paper, which means they might not be as shitheady. Dave Grohl has said in a viral post claiming to be a picture of the child he welcomed outside of his marriage is fake. The Foo Fighters frontman, 55, admitted to cheating on his wife, Jordan Bloom, and fathering a baby girl outside of their marriage on Wednesday, September 11th. He promised to be a loving and supportive parent in this social media announcement about the child. Grohl, who shares $3, Violet, Harper, and Ophelia with Bloom, admitted he is doing everything he can to regain his family's trust and earn their forgiveness. Yeah, see, even whenever he does the thing that that is an incredibly human thing that happens to so many people, he's still trying to be the best he can be about it, as opposed to being like, oh, I'm going to be an asshole. And like, he could have gone off the rails and gone total rock star and been like, ugh. But no, he's just like, yeah. He just straight up took up the manliest role he could say and like, yes, I did cheat, and I'm going to try my best to do right by both families. And he's just like, That's just owning up to your mistakes right there, man. You gotta respect that. I don't know, man. It might just be because I'm a guy, though. I will fully admit to that. Wait a minute. I'm stupid. Yeah. I don't I don't know if it is just because I'm a guy and I'm not sitting out here and I'm a guy who's been a fan of Dave Grohl for so long in his life, like just as a person. And so I'm not gonna lie, I'm probably just being a bit of a devil's advocate here. But it so I think there's a bunch of different little factors that would ever do that, by the way. Wait a minute, why do you hate the guy? Huh? Oh, that's not right. That's not right at all. That's wrong as hell. Oh yeah, no, it's still shitty. I will not fight you on that one. Yeah, at that point, you just separate the art from the artist, and that's something that I think a lot of people need to be able to know how to do, just in general. I think the only art that we can't separate from the artist is Hitler. There's actually probably way more. Uh, I'm just being making an extreme joke because I thought it'd be funny. Ha 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 ha. You know what I hate most about weight painting hair? These parts of the hair that are just like extra. You know, like the extra little strands, the little, like as much as I love the little sprongly doodads on my head, nah, they were a bitch and a half to weight paint. Fuck those guys. Me and my homies, we hate adding bones for them. Because they're just so much extra, and it's just the exact same shit, but like tiny. But if you don't do it, you don't have the ability to have the secondary motion, and then it just looks weird. I cannot understand how anybody would want to, like, potentially sit there and then actually rig realistic hair. I know how. They don't rig it, they set physics up for it. It's it's a physics-based hair calculation as opposed to, you know. But still, that's beside the point. Hair. Delicious, delicious hair. So soft and silky smooth. Also, hi Dathan, how's it going? Dude, I love it. It is weird how much it's hooked me. Like, it should not, I don't feel like it should have hooked me this bad. But it has. I posted a picture of it in the Mecha Madness channel on Discord. But y'all want to see? Let me finish weight painting this one strand, and then y'all want to see the latest one that I made? I'm pretty happy with it. It came out so good. Not gonna lie. But he's got making his way to the top. It's War Greymon. It's so cool. Oh, thank you, Zeno, for sending me context. That is incredibly helpful. Yeah, we're actually at about where I would normally want to wrap up stream anyway. So, ending it off by being like, "Hey, check out my toy model that I made." Sounds about right. I'll end up doing more of this weight painting later. But first you got to get Wing Gundam or you got to get the Wing Gundam Endless Waltz 0 wings. And then hold on. I've seen one. Again, I've given it a good build. I have seen a lot of Pokemon in this game. Un momento. There we are. So, have you gotten through all the missions? Because having all the builder parts would definitely help. I had to get a little funky with the legs. Mostly because I was shooting for just painting with them. I think using Nobel Gundam would be pretty solid. However, I saw a trick that might benefit you more. Also, yes, I gave him Wind rocket launchers because I thought it was funny. Let's see here. Photograph. So this is my War Greymon build. I had to get funky with the legs because I ended up going for trying to find pieces that had these side guards on them as opposed to doing anything else. I knew I was going to be able to make the shin guards and the crotch guard basically on my own. The gauntlets were about the hardest part. Then Agumon Warp Digivolve 2 War Greymon. Love it. War Greymon and Agumon used to be my favorite until I straight up got a model kit of Gallantmon, and then I'm like, all right. Like, I had always had a little bit of a soft spot in my heart for Guillamon, and just because it's like Agumon but red. Oh, thank you. I try. Yeah, speaking of Gallantmon, I thought I did a pretty solid job with him. It took me forever to get this freaking lance. No. I'm not gonna make... I don't know who Chaos Dramon is. How about this, though? I'll give you Shadow the Hedgehog. He is all of him. I have Google Kid energy, let's be real. Also, I had to, because it's one of the most popular Gundam of all time, I had to make Gundam Unicorn. This is what they meant, right? Yeah, I'm still mad that they gave us horse pieces, but not Gundam Maxter. Like, I'm legitimately mad about that. It does not have a sombrero built in. So what you'd end up having to do is probably make your own sombrero. Then we got Sir Recoil for whenever I'm feeling extra knightly. I feel like that's just the energy we all have at some point. And I'm still honestly just really proud of how my recoil turned out, because I think that can, until they release like some DLC that adds like GM or something that gives like a full face covering visor, I think that's about as good as I'm getting. But if you wanted to make a, hold on, how about we just equip the Gundam, or the sorting system could be a bit better, but it is what it is. Equip with default colors. I don't have an actual regular Gundam arm. I'm gonna be pissed. Here's my bit with this. You can get so detailed with just like the base level parts. Dude. Recoil Mecha Knight. That just sounds, I don't know. That sounds like I'm gonna be banned from Brawl. There it is.
Oh, honey, you don't even know.
I was raised on musicals, my dude. There's a speck in there, okay? I've just learned to master it. How do I not have the original Gundam backpack? What the shit? The joke being it's Meta Knight and Mecha Knight Recoil sounds like Meta Knight. Let's see here. Let's remove these absolutely ridiculous custom parts now. We could definitely making a sombrero's gotta be so easy, dude. Come on, give me like 2 seconds. Let's see here. We gotta go grab something round. Hell, we'll make an edgy sombrero. Oh, no. I'm aware. I am aware that Smash Bros. Players, they're fucking weird, man. I got nothing other than they're fucking weird. There is a piece here that is like round and it's got spikes on the outside. There we are. So we can take this and we already have the most part of a sombrero. Or, you know, just an unfortunate saw blade accident. Dude, I play Final Fantasy. Have you not seen G'raha Tia? I don't get the hype though, honestly. It's just another Makote. And then it's a hat. And then you come down here, make it bigger. And damn, that doesn't work as well as I wanted it to. Shit. Where's the other piece? I'm gonna say you're half right. Oh, I can't remember his name, but the one from the main Power Rangers setting. Let's use the GN field generator. It's that one. Or that one works pretty good. Plus it's none. So then we can take this, make it bigger. Ay. Let's see here. You can take that, do that. In this world of prejudice, I stand tall and proud as a cis white man. Is that what I need to be saying? Or are we gonna get the wait now? Hold on a second. Cis white men aren't allowed to have, or are not supposed to do that anymore. They've had their turn. I like that better than the other one. You know what's even funnier about this sombrero that we're building? If I use the parts, there it is. So if I take this part and make it, put it on top of the head to be the top of the sombrero. What's even better about this is now the so these two pieces come with extra abilities, right? So we can now go or we can now use the Trans Am because of our sombrero, and we can also use a GN field because of our sombrero. It's great. So just to put that into perspective, we can go super mode. Our sombrero gives us superpowers. Behold, the power of the sombrero. Dude, this sombrero is freaking great. Have you gotten to the point where you mastered any powers, Dathan? Oh, and also, suplex! God, that's so fun. I love this game so much. And then, if I was in danger, the sombrero also provides a handy dandy shield that reduces damage. Dude, I have thrown Burning Finger on literally everything now. It's fantastic. I love the idea of just a sombrero wearing a regular Gundam wearing a sombrero. Like, I don't know why. Something about that is really funny to me. I don't know what else I would do with it other than just like... Thing is, you know what's even better? If you change the scale of the head, it'll change the scale of the sombrero to match. Also, you were talking about how you've never seen like the horn dog side of it. This is about as horny as it gets. Like, I try to be tasteful with it still. That would have made a lot of sense, because it's like a farmer's tool. I get you. Could have also given him a pitchfork. We gotta go with the MG Gusion hammer. The bigger hammer. Oh yeah, no, see, this is what I mean though. It's like, she's cool, but I made an explicit choice to model, or to put boobs on it. Why? Because I thought it'd be fun. And also, we're giving her the big ass hammer because it's fun. Right? Like, she's just gonna come up and bash you in the head. And that's it. Also, I gotta point this one out. So, first of all, I modeled in, so she has a lollipop. As if she's like one of those kind of girlies. But then also, the necklace is a skull And just because of how it looks like it's a skeleton holding her boobs up. And I don't know why. But it makes me so goddamn happy. Like, there's just so much stupid stuff in there that makes it work. Oh yeah, no, dude. If the only reason for them to have, for giant robots to have boobs is like artillery. I hate how the hammer. Only thing I hate about the hammer is that it uses the greatsword set. Yeah, what are you talking? Oh my god, if she fires off the missiles, does that mean that she no longer has any chest, or she no longer has any boobs? It goes from having extended, or from like rounded chest to concave chest. Why did I make it so she had 2 armor repair? Oh, because I didn't have any other power stuff whenever I made her. So then she can pull a giant sword out of nowhere. And, giant laser beam. Sure. Yes! Yes, that's it right there. I don't know how to feel about that one. The twin GN drives. I get it, like from a gameplay perspective, but I feel like using the tails is just so much better. I'm still gonna level up those Gatling guns. You know, as much as I have a soft spot for Digimon, I actually don't know as much about Digimon as you'd think. Like, I might have made the Gallantmon and the War Greymon that you see here, but like, I don't really know much. Like, I've played a handful of the games, but not all the way through. I've had several Digivices, but that's about it. I've never actually like watched the show too much to the point where I can actually remember too many details about it. I really like the Shadow the Hedgehog. Honestly, because doing the Shadow the Hedgehog one, I learned. Ooh, have you learned this about SD heads? So, if you go and you paint an SD head, you can go to the decal section, and then you'll have this option for eye stickers. And you can swap out their default eye position, or like eye types. And so I obviously went, because it's Shadow the Hedgehog, we had to give him the angry eyes. Yeah, he has a nose. Of course he has a nose. Why wouldn't I give him a nose? I had 1 extra builder part slot, and so, with the 1 extra builder part slot, I was like, okay, we're doing this. One stupid thing. Actually, not stupid. One amazing thing about this model. The arms it uses are from Chaos Gundam. So he has that extra chaos control. I haven't tried a ton to make like these types of little coincidences happen, but when they do, I feel very happy about it. But like, yes, I tried my best to make the best use of parts as possible. There was some stuff that like getting those extra spikes on his head, those took up less than it took to make his shoes. But his shoes needed to be big and oversized, and there is no Gundam I've seen that there is no Gundam that I have seen that has big oversized feet. Dude, if I had my way, I'd voice Spider-Man one day. But I don't think Disney's gonna come a knocking. I'm just saying that. Also, like, realistically, if I was going to voice anything, Jim, the stuff that I would voice would be my own animations. And do you know who would voice Recoil in my own animations? Is me. I just haven't. I don't have the workflow to actually like animate properly. Like, let's see here. Let's get back to the blenderies. The workflow I have for animation is like I'm just too new at it to actually be able to do it in a timely manner on stream. But then it's like, dude, honestly, I'm trying to. I don't even know how I would go about doing that. Like, I know people go out and make their own animated skits and stuff all the time. One of my friends, Hero Strain, he used to animate for the Dai Tomodachi series, Kakyoin Waifu Connoisseur. I'm pretty sure Dai does that as his full-time job. But I also don't know what level his skill it took for him to get to that point where he could do those animations as his full-time job, you know? I don't know if I have the... I want to say gumption to ever, like, risk it and do that on my own. I'm fairly comfortable with doing everything that I do in art and stuff like this as a hobby. Let's say here. How far did I get it with this? Right, I was trying to... I forgot. I got really pissy at this because it was not working out the way I wanted it to. But I ended up having most of this done already. Yeah, but it's also not where I want to end up in my career, like as a career, you know? Like, voice acting does seem like it'd be pretty fun. But, and that's kind of not knowing how to break into that kind of industry. Like, from nothing. Dude, I live in Tennessee, one of the lowest cost of living states to live in. Oh, yeah. No, that's... I get what you're saying now. Oh, that's gonna take forever. If I had my way, I would be a toy designer. I would love to work for Hasbro one day and eventually build Transformers. Or, you know, like I could work on my, if given the opportunity to make Recoil into like an action figure and toy line, that would be 100% what I would want to do. You kidding? Basically go the whole G.I. Joe route, where I made an action figure and a TV series based off of this character, so that way to sell toys. But the problem there would then be that it would be under Hasbro's licensing, or it would be probably under some toy company's licensing, and then I wouldn't own the rights to my character, and then that's a whole other mess. Like, the comics industry is just not great. But that's one of those things that I'm working towards in my actual life, and I've actually like messed with my resume enough to make it to where it looks solid for that kind of position. And I could be that. I know I could do it. I just have to find some form of connection so that way I can jam my foot in the door and not leave until they let me have a job. Because that's what hiring is. That's what hiring is now. Straight up. You either have to be popular enough on social media that you can basically throw that social media weight around, and or you have to know somebody. You should. Tennessee is a good escape route because of. Okay, so Tennessee does not have a state income tax. So you keep basically all the money that you get, or that you earn. It also has a non-extradition or extradition law, so they will not extradite you if for some reason, like New York wanted you to go, or was trying to be like, hey, send us that guy so that way he doesn't feed off of your tax system or whatever. They don't care. Tennessee's just like, he buys stuff here. We have a sales tax. We don't care. So, and it's a pretty moderate temperature, and around the bigger cities like Nashville or Memphis or Knoxville, it's actually relatively liberal. Now, if you go and live in the Appalachian Mountains, on the other hand, there's Trump flags every 5 feet. It's depressing. That's beside the point. Oh shit, we've gone overtime. It's important because I ordered a pizza earlier and I made sure that I need to go pick it up at a specific time. So, we're gonna wrap up stream now, as opposed to me just blathering on about, you guys got me monologuing about my life. How dare you? That's scary. Dude, not knowing where your family is, like, at all, just kind of, it's not a fun time. Like, but that's kind of, to be fair, I don't know where my cousins are right now, but I also don't really care. I only really care about knowing where my immediate family is. Like, I know my older sibling is in the Pacific Northwest. My younger sibling is still in the same state. I do not know any. I don't think I know anybody with the last name Bronson. Not even Sir Richard Branson. That's not your cousin, is it? Anywho, that's our stream for the evening. Hope you enjoyed the face modeling and the various distractions we had along the way. And the hair weight painting, let's be real. And y'all saved only 5. Even with the catastrophe redeem. Alright, that's fine. I see you guys just need an example of how to save 10 cats instead. So, cat number 1. Well, don't do like he does. See, look, Reload is already following the example.
Harry baby.
I haven't even touched my model since the last time you've seen it.
Baby.
Except for trying to fix this stupid freaking shoulder clipping issue, which just keeps happening. I don't know what it is. Cat number 2.
Harry baby.
Well, I guess that's infinite cats, so I guess we're done here? That's it. That's it. You can't save more than infinity. I lied, you can. Infinity plus 1. Well, he's gonna go torture a cowardly dog.
Harry baby.
Cat number 4. Ah, he is.
Harry baby.
He is the champion. You can tell by his headband, it says the champion. Okay. Right there.
Harry baby.
Cat number 5. Oh! This one was saved from an underwater tree. So he's actually very thankful to be above water now. Cat number 6.
Harry baby.
Barbatorus. Wait, are you making the Gundam Barbados, but with like its little teeny tiny T-Rex arms? Oh my god, I want to.
Harry baby.
Making a T-Rex Gundam Barbados. Is the MG head, HG legs. I have ideas. Cat number 7. Maxwell! Welcome, Maxwell. Cat number 8. See, y'all threw... This is for the... He's coming after me now because he threw random stuff at me, and he's trying to... He's gonna get mad that there's stuff everywhere. I don't think I want to fight him. Cat number 8. Or, no, 9. I can count, sure. Barbados Centaurus. Honestly, that wouldn't be a bad build. Especially if you're using the broken giant mace right now. Anywho, cat number 9, Cat Bus. Oh, the muscle cat was just late for the bus. I get you. Okay, that's why he looks pissed. And last but not least, cat number 10. Oh. Is this Toulouse or Berlioz?
Harry
I know it's the
baby.
painter one. Anywho, those are our cats for the evening. I hope you had a good time, and... Wait a minute, that's an actual thing? Hold on, I gotta check that before hopping off. Barbator. What the shit? That's a thing? I hate it. That looks so stupid. Reload, why would you have to bring this to my attention? I don't like it. Stop that. Anywho, that's our stream for the evening. Let's see if we can find somebody. Okay, that's fair. Let's see if we can find somebody to raid. I'm thinking... Let's see here, I raided Cars recently. Who do you... Hey, she's not live most of the time. How about we raid PokeCat if she's still live. I don't know how long she'll be live for. I think she might actually be wrapping up. So no, we're going to go back. How about Mecha Mage? I never get to raid them. They're always busy before I am. Let's do that. Let's raid Pumpkin and Mecha. Anywho, that's our stream for the evening. I hope you had a good time. And until tomorrow, keep being heroic and have a great rest of your night. Peace. and then I get to go have pizza. It's gonna be great.